Welcome to our channel. Prisons are rehabilitation centers and punishment for criminals around the world from centuries. In history, earliest known prisons were from ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt and ancient Rome in the first millennia BC. These prisons were underground cells, too small for humans, so they had to be seated in same position or bent over for long time. The prisons in these periods were almost always underground, except from ancient Greece, where the prisons were not underground cells, but wooden shackles around wrists and ankles of prisoners, and prisoners were held in shabby buildings where they could be visited by friends and family. Prisons around the world vary in size and amenities offered, particularly dependent on the types of criminals they house. Minimum security luxury prisons are known to have comfortable beds, access to private bathrooms, and recreational activities including rock climbing, tennis, and horseback riding. But there are prisons on the other end of the spectrum as well, those that are severely overcrowded, contain excessively violent atmospheres, and lack proper medical care for inmates. We came with the highlights of the worst places to get locked up. Viewers, before moving on to video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get videos earlier. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. This American-owned prison was opened in 2002 in the wake of 9/11 to house Taliban and Al-Qaeda prisoners captured in Afghanistan, located on the eastern tip of Cuba. While President Obama, upon his election, vowed to close the prison, it is still fully operational to this day and contains over 150 inmates in its two camps, Camp Delta and Camp Iguana. Once the site of the notorious Camp X-Ray, a temporary holding facility which closed in 2002, detainees were subjected to enhanced interrogation techniques, aka torture, such as waterboarding and sense deprivation. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia, home to the most brutal criminals in Russia, including serial killers, terrorists, rapists, cannibals, and pedophiles. Black Dolphin Prison is a Russian correctional facility. Guards move inmates between buildings by bending them over, grabbing their handcuffed hands behind their back, and having them blindfolded so they cannot devise escape plans or attack prison staff. Inmates are only allowed 90 minutes of exercise a day. Apart from that, they are not allowed to lay down or even sit on their bunks for 16 hours of wait time. With an average of 5 people per inmate, its 700 residents have killed a total of 3,500 people. HMP Belmarsh, UK. This is one of the 3 maximum security facilities in England. A diverse range of men have been incarcerated at Belmarsh, the most common inmates being those who were convicted of terrorism. Even though the prison provides facilities to inmates that include education, physical fitness, and workshops, it is still a place ridden with prison violence. This inspection report suggests that the level of violence has only increased since the last inspection conducted, with a total of 49 assaults attempted on staff and 58 on other inmates, making HMP Belmarsh one of the 25 most dangerous prisons in the world. La Sabinetta Prison, Venezuela. This heavily overcrowded facility is home to more than 3,700 prisoners who live in a space designed to accommodate only 700 individuals. Such overcrowding breeds disease and violence among the inmates. La Sabinetta is ruled by a system of corruption, where guards give preferential treatment to those with money and power. These select individuals are able to sleep within the cells on a bed, while everyone else must use a hammock in the corridors, and there is no daily routine of set activities, allowing the inmates to do and behave as they wish, often leading to extremely violent encounters that stem from their lack of mental stimulation and cramped living quarters. Ciudad Barrios Prison, El Salvador. The Ciudad Barrios prison is located in El Salvador and has exclusively housed members of the Mara Salvatrucha gang, more commonly known as the MS-13. The prison is one of the most violent prisons in the country without a doubt, with the governing body being the inmates themselves, who are cold-blooded individuals that even the prison staff dare not mess with. The prison has a prisoner-guard ratio of 50:1. The inmates run their own bakeries and healthcare centers. They are heavily tattooed with gang signs and are constantly involved in fights which result in many of the less fortunate being beaten to death. Rikers Island Prison, USA, made up of 10 separate jails which house men, women, and youth. Rikers Island Prison has a reputation for excessive violence, corruption, and gross mistreatment of its inmates, especially those who are mentally ill. In 2008, after the beating death of 18-year-old Christopher Robinson. It was found that the inmates responsible were part of the program, a secret society run by the prison's guards to have certain inmates exert violence toward other prisoners as a way to maintain order. Rikers also has one of America's highest rates of solitary confinement, cells that are used so often that the Department of Corrections has recently built 1,000 more special isolation units for adolescents and those with mental illnesses. Camp 22, North Korea, the Horyong concentration camp, or Camp 22, was a prison in North Korea that is reported to have been closed in 2012. Camp 22 had been a site of human rights violation, human experimentation, and sadistic abuse. The North Korean government always denied its existence. The conditions at Camp 22 were some of the worst ever witnessed, with over 1,500-2,000 people dying only from malnutrition every year, mostly including children. Inmates were victims of torture that included hanging torture, water torture, box room torture, and kneeling torture. They were also experiments of inexperienced medical officers who would practice surgical procedures on them and in most cases kill them. San Quentin State Prison, USA. San Quentin Prison was established in 1852 and is the oldest prison in the state of California. Although the prison has a gas chamber, the only executions performed there are by lethal injection. Violence is a continual issue at San Quentin, even with a large staff of guards. A particular incident occurred in February 2006 when some racially motivated attacks resulted in the injuries of 100 inmates. United States Penitentiary, Administrative Maximum Facility, AX, USA, also known as ABX Florence, Florence Ad Max, Supermax, or the Alcatraz of the Rockies. This is the most maximum security prison in the United States. Built in 1994, this facility houses some of the world's most dangerous criminals, including Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, Ramzi Youssef, responsible for the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, and Zacarias Mousayahui, involved in the 9/11 attacks. Inmates at this facility spend 23 hours a day in solitary confinement in their 7-by-12-foot concrete cells that contain unmovable concrete furniture such as a stool, desk, and bed that is topped with a thin mattress. Cell windows measure only 3 feet in height and 4 inches in width, and meals are served through small slots in the metal doors. When prisoners are allowed out of their cells during the 1-hour recreation period, they wear several restraints and are escorted by multiple guards to a small outdoor cage. The prison was once described by former warden Robert Hood as a clean version of hell. So these were the most dangerous prisons in the world. Kindly tell us that which part of video do you like most? Also hit the like button and share it to friends.